Okay, so in this one, I'm going to show you improper fractions. Okay, and all an improper fraction is when the numerator is greater than the denominator. So improper fractions is when the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So let's go ahead and draw this out. Okay, we know our whole is going to be divided into 3 equal parts because our denominator is 3. So we'll cut it into thirds. And then the numerator tells us how many we have out of the total. So we have 5. 1, 2, 3. Well, we're supposed to have 5, but there's only 3. So that means we need to draw another one. And we're going to divide it into thirds because our denominator does not change. It's still thirds. So now that we have 3, we just need to shade in 2 more. 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, 4/3, 5/3. And this is how you would represent 5/3 as a picture, this improper fraction. But all an improper fraction is just a mixed number. Remember, a mixed number has a whole and a fraction. So let's do what we did on the last one, on the last small group, the level 1. We have 1 whole right here because 3 out of 3 equals 1 whole. And then we have 2/3, 2 out of 3. So our mixed number would be 1 whole and 2/3. And that is the same thing as 5/3. Okay, 1 whole and 2/3 is the same thing as 5/3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/3, but that's also 1 whole and 2/3. Okay, let's do another improper fraction. Let's say I have 7/4. Let's draw it out. I know our wholes are going to be divided into fourths because our denominator is 4. And we should have 7 shaded because that's how many we have out of our total. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, we're supposed to have 7 shaded in, but we only have enough for 4, so we have to make another one. And it's in fourths because the denominator does not change. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. We need 7/4. 5/4, 6/4, 7/4. So we have 7/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if we write that as a mixed number, this would be 1 whole and then 3/4. So we have 1 whole, 3/4, and these two are equal. 1 whole and 3/4 is the same thing. 1 whole and then 1, 2, 3/4 is the same thing as 7/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'll do one more with you, and then the next ones you can do by yourself. Let's say we have 10/4. Okay, let's draw it out. We know our wholes are going to be broken into 4 pieces because that's how many, or that's what our denominator is a 4. And we should have 10 shaded. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, we don't have enough to shade in 10, so we have to make another one. And it's still in fourths. 5, 6, 7, 8. And we still don't have enough for 10, so we have to make another one. And it also is in 2/4. 9, 10. Now we have 10/4. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, 8/4, 9/4. Whoops, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10/4. But let's label it to make it a mixed fraction or a mixed number. We have 1 whole. 4 out of 4 equals 1 whole. 4 out of 4 equals 1 whole. And then we have 2/4. So our answer would be 2 wholes and 2/4. 10/4 is the same thing as 2 wholes and 2/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10/4. And it's also equal to 1 whole, 2 wholes, 2/4. All right, for this next one, I'm going to give you a picture and I want you to draw it as a improper. I want you to write the answer as an improper fraction and a mixed number. Okay, turn these in and I will turn these next few in and I will give you points. I'll know that you have done the small group. So let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4. I want you to write this as an improper fraction, and I want you to write it as a mixed number. Okay? Go ahead and pause the video now, see if you can do that, and then unpause it when you're finished to double check. Okay, now that you've done it on your own, let's write it as an improper fraction. Well, we know our denominator is 6 because each of these wholes is broken into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal parts. Now all we got to do is count how many sixths there are. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 6, 13, 14, 15, 16. We have 16 sixths. Okay, now let's see what 16 sixths is equal to as a mixed number. So we know our denominator is going to be 6 still, it doesn't change. And then we have 6 out of 6 equals 1 whole. 6 out of 6 equals 1 whole. So we have 2 wholes. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So your two answers should have been 16 sixths. That's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16 sixths. And then as a mixed number or a mixed fraction, that would be 1 whole, 2 wholes, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 2 wholes, 4, 6. Okay, let's do another one. See if you can do it on your own. This will be number 2. Label this number 2 if you're writing it down to show me. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8. Okay, I have it done. I want you to write it as a mixed number and as an improper fraction. Go ahead and pause the video now and see if you can do it on your own. Okay, now that you've done it on your own, let's double check. First, let's write it as an improper fraction. Okay, we know our denominator is 8 because each whole has been broken into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 eighths. So now all we got to do is count the eighths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 eighths. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 eighths. 17, 18. So we have 18 eighths. That's our improper fraction. The numerator is bigger than the denominator. But let's draw that, or let's write that as a mixed number. Remember, mixed numbers have wholes and fractions. So 8 out of 8 equals 1 whole. 8 out of 8 equals 1 whole. And then we have 2 eighths right here. So as a mixed number, we would have 2 wholes. And then our fraction would be 2 eighths. So 18 eighths is the same thing as 2 wholes and 2 eighths. 8, 16, 17, 18, 18 eighths, and it's also equal to 1 whole, 2 wholes, 2 eighths. Okay, this is your last one. This is your exit ticket. Okay, I want you to write this as a mixed number and as an improper fraction. Pause the video now, see if you can do it on your own. Unpause to double check. Okay, now that you've done this on your own, Let's see. Let's write it as an improper fraction first. We know our denominator is going to be halves because they're divided into two equal parts each. And now we just got to count how many halves there are. 1 halves, 2 halves, 3 halves, 4 halves, 5 halves, 6 halves, 7 halves. So there's 7 halves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now let's write that as a mixed number, which is a whole, which has wholes and fraction. So let's see, we have 2 out of 2 equals 1 whole. This is another whole. This is another whole. And this one is 1 half, 1 out of 2 parts. So we have 3 wholes and then 1 half. So 7 halves is the same thing as 3 and 1 half. 7 halves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Same thing as 3 wholes and 1 half. 1 whole, 2 wholes, 3 wholes, and 1 half. Okay, if you got those right, good job.